Quick question. Who's the bad guy in Death Note? Most of you probably think Light. Well, he is pretty bad, I give you that. But Death Note's true villain is none other than the Shinigami Ryuk. You see, everything in Death Note happened just because this guy was bored out of his mind. If you don't want to get bored like Ryuk did, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button as hard as you can. Ryuk does not talk much, but I'd argue that he is even smarter than L and Light together. The Shinigami are gods of death who live in the, well, Shinigami world. There's absolutely nothing to do in the Shinigami world because the Shinigami have outlived pretty much everything in their world. Since the start of the show, we find out that Ryuk is no random Shinigami. We realize that he has tricked their god to get a spare Death Note. He drops his Death Note into human world just to see what happens. Imagine dropping something that could kill an entire planet just to see what happens. How this guy is not a bad guy. When he realizes that Light has picked up the Death Note, he loves it because he knows that the game is on. Well, Damon, that does not mean that Ryuk is the bad guy. Oh, really? Let me break it down for you then. Who owns the Death Note? Light is using the Death Note, and he is the current owner. But Ryuk is the real owner of the Death Note, meaning that each person whose name is written in the Death Note gives their remaining lifespan to Ryuk. So Ryuk is getting all the lifespans. Light is able to make other Shinigami to listen to him. He puts Rem in a situation that he has no choice but to do what Light wants. But as for Ryuk, Ryuk is never pushed to a corner. Everything is for his entertainment. When he helps Light, it's not because he wants to help. No, he just helps when helping makes things interesting. For example, when Light was trying to get Naomi Mitsura's name, best scene by the way, it just shows how much of a predator Light actually is. But anyway, when Light is trying to get her name, Ryuk doesn't help at all. But he knows if Light doesn't get her name, he'll absolutely get busted. Some of you might say, well, he is not a human, so morals does not apply to him. True, he's not a human, and he doesn't have feelings, but that does not change the outcome. The destruction that Death Note caused still remains the same. The role that each character had to play still remains the same. Take Overlord, for example. Ainz Ol Gon is an undead with no feelings, but people still see him as a villain. Same can be said for Ryuk. For humans, the appearance of the Death Note was a catastrophe. It totally reshaped the society. But for Ryuk, it was just fun. From the moment he enters the human world, Ryuk lets Light know that all of this is because he wants to have fun. And in the end, when Light is about to die, Ryuk only tells him one thing: that they had a good run, that it was fun. Death Note is one of those stories that don't have a clear hero or a clear villain. And that is great because the more gray your characters are, the more realistic your story is. Light is a bad person, but he's still in the gray because his goal might sound nice. L is also a gray character because he's okay to do questionable things to get Light. But for me, Ryuk is completely dark. I still love him, but he was the one behind everything. He doesn't care how many people die or what happens to the world. He would let the entire world burn if it meant having fun for him.